Now, you point out in your book that at a certain point, banks stopped monitoring PE companies in a certain way, which enabled PE companies to buy companies that they never dreamed that they could buy.
Right.
What happened after this?
Well, there was a big change. The risk is, as we sit here today in June or July, the feds are thinking of reverting back. But the big change was, private equity firms, when they bought companies, by putting companies deeply in debt, often the people at banks who are their credit risk managers on a high level, on a corporate level, would just turn the other way. In fact, if you got in the way of the train, you'd probably get fired. I heard that directly from a credit risk manager at a top bank. So basically, if the head of the bank is saying we should fund this because we got to keep up with everybody else, and the manager who had the relationship with, say, a KKR was saying, yeah, this credit's okay, the credit guy's not supposed to hold it up. And if they did, again, they would get fired. And if KKR saw you, I'm just naming a bank, if you, Citibank, if you're not funding this deal, well, we're not going to come back to you again. We got Goldman, JP Morgan, B of A, we have other places to go to. Well, then you better stay on the train if you want to keep earning those fees. So that was the problem in 06, 07. Credit portfolio, credit managers, risk managers at banks became much more conscious after the Great Recession. In 08, 09, they definitely were forced to take a harder look at credits, and they did. So not everything went through. And this was partially a result of the feds saying, take a closer look at credits. The feds also put in a recommendation, a guideline, that you can't lend more than 6 times debt to EBITDA, debt to earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization. That lowered the amount of debt you could put on a company. That's been in effect for about 3 to 4 years. This administration is thinking of rolling that recommendation back. So we could see some changes very soon. But we have not seen, since really the 08, 09 period, or 06, 07, 08 period, we have not seen $20 billion crazy buyouts. So there has been a change. The risk is it may, which is certainly since the book, that it may revert back very soon.
What do you think might happen if it does?
Well, they have the money to invest. Their job is to invest money. Also, the public markets are doing pretty well, relatively speaking. So to buy a public company, you got to bid up. So I would think that's probably what we're going to have. The high yield markets are not what they were in 06, 07, 08, but they'll find a way to get money. And I would think if the barriers are dropped, we'll start seeing giant leverage buyouts again because the money is there. They need to invest the money. And historically, now there's a track record. The private equity industry started in the 1980s, but now there's a track record. So the biggest buyouts of the 1980s, a majority of those 10 biggest went bankrupt, including RJR Nabisco. We already have at least the 5 of the 10 biggest in the 06, 07, 08 period have already gone bankrupt. So it's a model that to me seems not to work, certainly on the larger scale. I think even below that, but certainly at the larger end, which soaks up most of the money, those buyouts generally do not work. And it's proven that it doesn't work. And yet, again, this keeps going.